Long ago, in the early days of the frontier, when vast lands of America were still wild and untamed, there lived a powerful landowner named William Hawthorne. William was not just any man. He was wealthy, respected, and feared. But more than anything else, he was obsessed with hunting. No matter how important his estate matters were, no matter how many people were waiting for his decisions, if the thought of a hunt crossed his mind, everything else could wait. On a blazing summer morning, William mounted his black stallion and set out with a group of his trusted men, his foreman, Richard Collins, his loyal servant, Samuel, and a handful of riders armed with rifles. Their destination? A forest that locals whispered about in hushed voices. They called it the Silent Grove. At first, it felt like any other hunt. Horses' hooves pounded against the dusty trail, the sun blazed above, and William's eyes searched eagerly for movement, deer, elk, or maybe even a bear. But something was strange. The forest was too quiet. No rustling of rabbits, no chirping of birds. Even the wind seemed afraid to pass through the leaves. "Strange," Richard muttered, gripping his rifle tighter. William smirked. "It's just the heat. Animals are hiding. We'll find them deeper in." So they pressed on. Hours passed. The men grew uneasy. The deeper they went, the heavier the silence became. It wasn't the silence of peace. It was the silence of something watching. By noon, they reached a wide meadow hidden in the heart of the woods. It stretched endlessly, golden grass swaying like waves in the hot wind. And in the middle of that meadow stood a single, massive oak tree. William dismounted and walked under the shade of the oak. His eyes scanned the meadow, his hunter's instinct sharp as ever. Then he saw it. On the lowest branch of the oak sat a bird. Not just any bird, a blue jay. Its feathers shimmered like polished sapphires. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural brightness. It didn't move, didn't sing. It just stared. William froze. His pulse quickened. "Finally," he whispered, "game worth taking." He motioned to Samuel, "My rifle." But before Samuel could hand it over, the bird opened its beak. And it spoke. "William Hawthorne," the bird croaked, its voice chilling, echoing like wind through a hollow cave. The men staggered back. Richard dropped his rifle in shock. The blue jay tilted its head, still staring at William. "You hunt for pleasure, but do you know the price?" William's lips curled into a smirk, though his heart pounded in his chest. "A trick," he said coldly. "Someone trained this creature, nothing more." But the bird only laughed, a sound not of a bird, but of a human, low, mocking, unsettling. "You think the forest doesn't watch. You think the meadow doesn't remember. Every life you've taken, every innocent creature you've slain, the debt is coming due." The men whispered nervously, "Sir, let's leave. This isn't natural." But William stepped closer, rage burning in his eyes. "You dare threaten me? You're just a bird, a worthless thing." He raised his rifle, aimed at the blue jay's chest. The bird didn't move. It only whispered, "Shoot, hunter, and see what follows." William pulled the trigger. The rifle cracked through the meadow, echoing across the endless fields. The bird fell. Its body hit the ground with a soft thud. And then everything changed. The sky darkened, clouds swallowing the sun. The wind howled, bending the grass violently. From the shadows of the meadow, figures began to appear. Not men, not animals. Shapes, pale, twisted, with hollow eyes. Spirits of the creatures William had slain.
Deer with bleeding antlers, wolves with broken spines, birds with shattered wings. They crawled, limped, and dragged themselves toward him. The men screamed, stumbling back, their rifles shaking in their hands. The blue jay's body twitched, then rose again, its feathers blackened, its eyes burning like fire. It perched back on the oak and spoke, louder than before. "You are cursed, William Hawthorne. This meadow will be your grave, and your name will be nothing but a warning whispered by those who wander too far." The spirits closed in. Richard shouted for the men to run, but their horses had vanished. The meadow stretched on forever, no path leading out. William fired his rifle again and again, but the bullets passed through the spirits as if they were smoke. Samuel fell to his knees, praying loudly, tears streaming down his face. Richard grabbed William's arm. "We have to beg for mercy." But William's pride was stronger than his fear. He shoved Richard away and screamed at the bird. "I am William Hawthorne. No curse, no ghost, no trick of the devil can touch me." The bird gave one last laugh. "Then face what you've earned." The spirits swarmed. The meadow shook as if alive. And then silence. When the wind settled and the clouds parted, the meadow was empty again. The oak stood tall, the grass swayed gently, but William Hawthorne and his men were gone. Only the blue jay remained, perched on the branch, its feathers glimmering once more. Years later, travelers passing through the frontier would tell the same story, of a meadow where no birds sing, where no animals roam, a place where hunters vanish without a trace. Locals gave it a name, the Cursed Meadow. And if you listen closely, standing beneath the oak, some swear you can still hear the laughter of a bird, whispering the name William Hawthorne.